It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 10 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at who will survive Alpha's mineshaft or cave trap and who will die, and whether Jerry is a goner. So, before we actually get started with predicting who's going to die and who's going to survive, let's take a look at what is Alpha's plan here. So Alpha actually has a pretty good strategy going in, because she did trap this group. She took out a lot of the heavyweights from the surviving group. She took out Carol and Daryl. Now, she didn't necessarily know those were going to be there, but I think she definitely knew that they're going to send out some of their either leaders or best fighters to check out where the herd is. Now, we still don't know whether Gamma lied or whether Alpha just read through Gamma's plan and figured it out, but what we do know for sure is that Alpha knew that they were coming to check out the herd, and also she knew that they would send out some of their best fighters. So by trapping them, what Alpha did was basically paralyze the survivors, because they are losing either their strong fighters or their strong leaders. So Alpha did that. She trapped this group. Now, what she's also doing, which we saw in the trailer of the second half, is she is going to, alongside other Whisperers, attack the hilltop. We saw certain shots in the trailer where it seemed like Alpha was with some Whisperers and they trapped the survivors at hilltop, and she sent out a small group of her herd towards them. And she ordered her Whisperers to shoot fire arrows at the community to try to burn it down. She did the same exact thing in the comics, so they're just taking that story directly from the comics. Now, aside from these two plans, she has a third plan, which they didn't do in the comic book, much like trapping the group in the cave. In the comic book, the only thing they did was attack Hilltop, but in the show, they're actually doing three things. One, trapping the group, like I said. Second, attacking the Hilltop like they did. And then Alpha actually ordered Beta to attack Alexandria. We see certain shots again in the trailer where Beta is actually at the Alexandria safe zone. So Alpha is leading an attack at the Hilltop. Beta is leading an attack at Alexandria, and a bunch of the survivors are trapped in the caves. That's a pretty smart strategy for Alpha. So let's take a look at who's trapped. How likely are they to die? So I think there will most likely be a casualty or two from the group that's trapped in the caves. If there is no casualty, if no one dies, then this whole thing would be a complete waste of time. Let's take a look at who's there. So first we have Daryl. Now Daryl is not likely to die, as he is not only the main character, but also they showed him in other scenes in the trailer for the next half, 10B. The first scene is the attack at the hilltop. Daryl is actually there. We do see in multiple shots in the trailer, Daryl actually defending Hilltop from the attack. So much to Alpha's surprise, Daryl actually made it out alive, and he's going to be there protecting the place. So it's going to be very interesting to see whether that actually shocks Alpha or whether she's not going to be surprised by that. But the second scene, which actually takes place before the scene where we have Daryl at Hilltop protecting the place, is the scene where Daryl is actually with Judith. Judith actually fixed Daryl's vest and gave it back to him. Daryl is wearing that exact vest during the Hilltop attack. So those two scenes are clues, or to me confirmation, that Daryl makes it out alive of the cave trap. The next person who's in the trap underground in the cave is Carol. Now Carol is also not likely to die, as she's again one of the main characters, so it would be a complete mistake to kill her. And also, much like Daryl, they showed Carol in later scenes, which we saw in the trailer of season 10B. And the only scene that she's actually in is one scene where Carol and Ezekiel are together. They're either making out or Carol is delivering some sort of news to Ezekiel. Now, we'll revisit this scene later on, but this is actually a big clue about who's gonna die. But we'll get to that. Now, next person is Magna. She's also trapped in there with them. Now for Magna, it's possible that she's gonna die because she wasn't in the trailer. However, she's less likely to die compared to the others that are in the cave, other than Daryl and Carol. But I wouldn't be surprised if Magna dies as well, but she's not as likely to die. Next, we have Kelly. Now, for Kelly, again, it's possible that she's gonna die. since she was not shown in the trailer, much like Magna, but again, less likely to die than the others. So I think Magna and Kelly are the ones that are kind of in the middle for me. They could die, but there's also a good possibility that they're gonna make it out alive. And for Kelly specifically, they had a chance to kill her earlier in the season when we had her tracking the pig and trying to hunt the pig. And since they didn't kill her at that time, I don't think that they're gonna do it now. They would have done it already if they wanted to do it. Next, we have Aaron. Now for Aaron, much like Daryl, he's actually present during the attack at the hilltop. We do see him. He's leading the militia trying to protect Hilltop. So because of that, Aaron is also safe because we do see him later on in the trailer. Next up, we have Connie. Now for Connie, she's definitely likely to die because she was not anywhere in the trailer. Plus, killing her would actually move Daryl's story forward and make the Daryl-Carol storyline and their relationship very, very interesting. And the reason I say that is Carol is the reason they are in the mess in the first place. She's the reason they're trapped. So if Connie dies, Daryl would definitely blame Carol. So that would make things extremely interesting, and it would be something that's not going according to script or according to what many fans are thinking. Now, some fans, like myself, could put it together and realize that Connie is at risk of dying. But at the same time, there's a chance they might actually kill the last person that we have in the list, Jerry, instead. So I think what they're doing is they're making it likely for both Jerry and Connie to die so that, we don't see it coming. So moving on to the last character that's trapped, Jerry. Jerry, I think, is extremely likely to die. Now, he was in the trailer, but the trailer showed him in certain scenes that seemed to imply or hint that he was gonna die. Now, they could be doing this to throw us off and fooling us, but aside from the scenes that are showing Jerry supposedly dying, Jerry's supposed death scene, there are two other clues that lead me to think that Jerry's at risk of dying. One is actually that scene that I talked about earlier, where we have Carol and King Ezekiel together. I think that scene could actually be Carol giving Ezekiel the bad news that Jerry died. Now, I could be completely wrong, but there is a chance that that's exactly where they're going with it. Another scene is actually something that happened in the last episode, 10:07. Before the group that are trapped actually met up, before they were trapped, Aaron, Daryl, and Carol were actually together. And they met up with Magna, Connie, Kelly, and Jerry. Now, when they meet up, they stay on this particular scene and they focus on it a little bit. And that scene is Kelly hugging Aaron and Jerry hugging Carol. Now, the Aaron Kelly thing, I don't think that's significant at all, but the Jerry Carol thing, it's definitely significant. And why do I say that? Well, it goes back to how this whole thing is Carol's fault. She was the reason that they're trapped in the first place. So if this does lead to Jerry's death, then, that scene could very well be looked at as a clue about Jerry's death. And just to say something real quick about Carol and her rogue mission to go after Alpha in that scene in the previous episode, I think Carol's thirst for vengeance has blinded her. I mean, you could see that was a trap from a mile away. I don't know how Carol didn't see it coming. And plus, this is the second time Carol is going on this rogue mission. The first time she went on the rogue mission was when she brought the gun with her and tried to shoot Alpha when they were meeting at the border earlier in the season. Now, in that instance, it didn't lead to anyone's death, but this time around, it might have a slightly different outcome. And Jerry could be the one that ends up being on the chopping block after Carol's rogue mission. But I think, just to sum this up, the two characters that are very likely of dying in order are Jerry first and then Connie. But I want to know everyone's thoughts and opinions. Who do you think is going to die in the cave? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video. If you like what you see, press like, subscribe for more content, and press the bell button to receive notifications for daily uploads.